All right. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here. I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. Thought I would chat with you, lovely guys and gals, while I get ready to do an arm day. Although I think I'm going to do a bunch of pullovers in there with it too. Should be the last day of this cold front. Um, should be the last day. After that, it should be a little warmer next week. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. We'll see what we get in here. This is a little earlier than some of my coffee chats, so it might take a minute to get lively. And we'll see how it goes. See how it goes. There's only one person watching so far, so we'll give it a minute. These tend to start filling up once we get a few minutes deep. Sometimes we get about 30, 40 people in them. We'll see how it goes. These are not going to be as lively or high energy as the evening ones. I kind of get in my zone for those. This is usually being done during my first cup of coffee. So I'm not always fully awake. Check a couple other things while I wait for some comments and viewers to come in. Takes you guys a moment. Gonna adjust my diet a little bit today. I've been running lower carbs. I want to work some white rice back in, trim the fat back a little bit. I feel like I just need it for muscle fullness. I want to focus just on recomping at this point. So I'm not going to try to drop scale weight. I figure just keep the diet ultra clean, protein crazy high, and train fasted and fast in the mornings. That should be good. Cameron says, "Hello, coach. Nice shirt." I've got a bunch of these. I got like 4 or 5 of them, different colors. I think I got a red one somewhere too. I might dig that out at some point. I think I look good in red. Maybe. But yeah, it's going to be an arm day. Like I said, arms and pullovers. I mean, I've thought about adding tons more tricep work, but then my bench days don't seem to recover, so I've got to be careful with that. I like the pullovers won't affect that very much. They won't affect it. But I want that shoulder mobility that I get from the pullovers. Like I need to improve that. That gave me the most benefits I've ever gotten. So I'm going to do like you guys saw me start doing this week, and at least 2 or 3 of my workouts every week. We're going to do a bunch of sets of the pullovers with the plate, and I'm going to focus on that pause and the stretch. Because again, that seems to really crackle a lot of stuff free in my shoulders. I'm hoping that's going to give me what I need there. Because that's the other thing I've realized too. I feel like things like my tricep long head, they lag because I don't have the shoulder range of motion. I might need to hit that head the way that I want. So I feel like if I get that ability to free up that range of motion in my shoulder again, that the long head of my tricep will grow a lot easier. So I think if I can get that growing, get my biceps bigger while I get leaner, we'll be in a good spot. So then again, I'd love to be able to do a correct overhead press to where I could actually lock it at the top. Yeah. So those are kind of some goals there, non-strength goals, but I mean physique goals. I've already told you guys. Um, I'd like to get my arms bigger. I need to get leaner, tighten up the loose skin. The loose skin around the waist is only going to get tighter from losing body fat at this point. Hey, dude, they're not that big right now, dude. I need to bring them up. They're going to be a high priority, which is why I'm doing like 20 plus sets for biceps a week right now. And notice that I'm now really focusing on long ranges of motion, controlling it, taking sets right to either to failure or very close. Cameron says, Coach, how do I improve my work capacity generally? My set to set drop off with adequate rest is not good, especially when doing 8+ reps. Get your GPP up. Go do more conditioning work until it improves your work capacity. That's how I got mine up, right? Doing those 45-minute weighted vest walks every day worked wonders for my work capacity. Now I'm able to train for a couple hours every day. I just have nice, solid work capacity. I don't know about burpees, dude. Come on. But the sled work, loaded carries, even the weight vest walks, rucking, anything to improve your conditioning like that will improve your work capacity in the weight room. So, because I don't lose reps even on leg stuff. Not really. I mean, I start losing reps on some of the shoulders and some of the small isolation stuff is where I lose reps because I'm taking really short breaks now on some of it, right? Really short breaks, like a minute on the shoulder day. So it's hard to sustain 14, 15 reps. It might be down to 12 real fast on an exercise. Like the upright rows. We saw that this week. All right, I got like 14 or 15. I was down to about 12 by the third set. But again, it was all 60-second breaks. And that's pretty much more or less what I'm going to be doing now. Everything's going to be pump work like that other than my really big, heavy lifts, you know. I might start doing some speed pulls too. What do you guys think? I don't know what you mean by thoughts on Joe Rogan. I don't really watch it. Chad, like, how did you program GPP to ensure adequate recovery? You're already weight training by guiding it, right? I'm not even going to answer the scoop ball troll. All right. NH claims natural limit doesn't exist, yet he's made 0 gains in the last 2 years. Well, maybe he found his natural limit. I don't think he's necessarily natural. No one would be that adamant about the strange moral side of gear use and be natural. In my experience, those guys all use a minimum of a gram. I've never met anybody who's a low doser in real life who takes that holier than thou thing to natty. They're all on shit, lots of it. Like it's a cope. It's a cope. I'm more likely to believe someone who's not impressive, who just simply goes, I just chose not to use gear. It's not right for me. Those guys are more likely to be the natural. Like the guy who has good gains, has good gains, isn't amazing, but probably is pretty big, pretty strong. Good results who's put in 10 years. Like you see those guys, and when you ask them why they don't use gear or if they've ever tried it or if they're on, they don't do the holier than thou. It's the, I don't know, man. I thought about it. It's just not right for me. I've met plenty of guys like that and actually believe they're natural. Like, I don't know, man, the risks just don't feel worth it to me. That very casual attitude. That is who is most likely to be an actual real natural. I have never met anyone who's the other who isn't really secretly using gear, and then you find out stuff later, or they get popped on a drug test, right? It's a compensation. In my experience, it's a compensation, and it's not believable. Like to me, that is a clear indication of a cope and a lie. Oh, I am pure because I'm natural. It's an evil, degenerate sin. Dude, any motherfucker who tells you that's on a gram of gear, I don't care how small they are. I don't care how motherfucking small they are. I am way more likely to believe the guy who worked for 10 years to get a 315 bench, who looks pretty good, got good results, who just has the other, who just tells you, I don't know, man, I thought about it. It just doesn't seem worth the risk to me. That's way more believable. And you guys all know I'm right. You know I'm right. It's like, yeah, okay, dude. It's just like, yeah, not really my thing, man. I thought about it. Yeah, but that strong emotional attachment tells you a lot. Because they talk about it. Okay. And that's what you need to be clear on. I tell everyone that too. As soon as you start worrying about gear, you're probably going to eventually use gear. All right. Anyone who worries about gear and spends a lot of time worrying about who's natural or not, or it's not fair this guy got these gains, just go ahead and buy your first bottle of test because you're going to do it anyways. So go ahead and find a good deal on it now. Right? No, I don't watch anime. That's not true, Edu. I've seen in my life, I watched a couple episodes of Naruto with some chicks. For some reason, like white girls really like anime sometimes. I don't know why. I've seen a movie called, and it was decent. It was this big spaceship with a skull on the front. Space Pirate, fuck was it? Space Pirate Harlock, I think that's what it was. It was an okay. I saw it like on coming through some streaming apps some years ago. So I've seen 3 animes in my entire life. I don't really get the appeal. Like, just don't get it. Chad, because I don't feel like buying any more growth. I had my kits that I had during that last ball out. They seemed to have went bad from what I could tell. We had 6 days of over 100 degree with no power in the Houston area. And the stuff I had in the freezer, they seemed to have, I tried them out, they had no side effects or anything. So they were completely destroyed by the heat, and I haven't bothered to buy it anymore. I don't feel that I need it. I mean, eventually I'll probably go back home, especially at my age. Greener says I'm too old for gear now. What do you mean? You're capable of typing, so you're not so arthritis ridden that you can't move your fingers. So I don't see what you mean. Are you like 90 years old? But just because you're 90, Greener, why wouldn't you use a little test? I would argue the opposite. The older you are, the more you need. To your opinion on the super squats program, I barely remember them. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore this goofball. This troll will eventually come to my side. So, by the way, just ignore him, guys. This Castle guy. Y'all would just ignore him. Let's stick to real topics. Silly child. Be gone. Yeah, Christos, I don't really get the whole anime thing personally. But yeah, as far as growth, I think growth hormone is really useful for guys over 40. And I've used it, but I just don't feel like buying any right now. I don't feel like sourcing it. I mean, I've got sources. It's just, I will eventually rotate it back in. Feel like it really did a lot for my tendons and stuff, though. So I'm definitely a fan of over 40 running some growth for a little while. Do you believe there's a natural limit? Common sense would dictate there's a natural limit. I mean, all the data we have on natural body. I mean, otherwise, Greener, let me ask you the question. If there's no natural limit, then why does each generation of drugs get bigger? In other words, why didn't Arnold and those guys continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger after the 80s and 90s? They were training, right? So they were training and still using anabolics. So why was there a limit? So if there's a limit to any specific status, if there's no limit, then why do we need to add new drugs? In other words, why aren't naturals as big as Arnold and them were? Okay. And how come Arnold and Franco and them got to that size and no one got bigger until they added new non-anabolics to the mix, like insulin and growth hormone and stuff? Do you see where I'm going with this? There's a limit to steroids. Like, you cannot get current pro bodybuilder size on unlimited amounts of steroids. You can't do it. They're too big. So there's a limit to natural. There's a limit to every dose that you use. There's a limit on a gram a test, and that limit is going to be less than on 2 grams a test. But you're also going to reach an androgen receptor saturation point where you will stop growing on anabolics too. And then you will have to add growth hormone, and then you will have to add insulin. Okay, do you see where we're going with this? There will be a limit for every situation, or at least a point of such rapid diminished returns that you don't see a measurable amount in a year. So it's not saying that you stopped growing. It's that you will, greener, you have to stop looking at it as a hard limit and more of a point of diminished returns. And in other words, you have muscle fibers that stop growing 6 weeks into training. Like, that's not even debatable. Like, that's not a point of debate. There's no counter argument. That is confirmed in the lab. Right? So all your different types of muscle fibers have a diminished return on growth where they will stop growing. The only muscle fibers that have an unlimited growth potential are your really fast twitch ones. But they comprise such a small number that even though they may be growing every year, it might only account for a few ounces of muscle. Does that make sense? So the slower twitch fibers, the faster they cap out in size, all the way up like that sequence of about 20 different fiber types. So we know this from the lab. This is not like something that's not been studied. So when people say no natural limits, it's like, have you not looked into any of the limitations on individual fiber types and when they stop growing? Edu says, why don't powerlifters do weight cutting like boxers and fighters do? They do. That's a really weird question. That's normal. You've clearly never been to a powerlifting meet in your life. I did 23-pound cuts and stuff like that for competitions. So I was 220 when I hit those 198 state records. I weighed 220. I cut 22 and 23 pounds for the weigh-in. And I wasn't the only one doing it. That's normal. I've seen powerlifters talk about 40-pound water cuts. So your question seems kind of strange. I mean, that's okay. I guess you've never been around powerlifting. All right. How many % do you think is in about what? The old school squat and milk program makes you 20 rep breathing squat to the 10 rep max. Oh yeah, the Widowmakers, we all did that back in the day. It beats you into the ground. I've done it. Okay. The Menno Henselman calculator says I need to lose 13 pounds to go from 18% to 10%. Does it seem reasonable, assuming no loss in strength? Hey, Pepper, I don't have a calculator in front of me, so I can't answer your question. You're asking me to break out a calculator and calculate shifts in body composition and fat loss. I don't know if it sounds right, dude. I'm still just finished my first cup of coffee, and you're asking me to break out a calculator. So here's my question. Do you think Menno doesn't know what he's talking about? So you think Menno has no experience with weight loss and getting people lean? Because if you wouldn't be asking me that if you had confidence in Menno. So you just don't believe him. I guess the point. No, I think Menno is fairly reliable and stuff like that. And I don't know what's up with this calculator. Thoughts on eating a protein-heavy breakfast versus carb-heavy? I think you should always have a protein-heavy breakfast. Do you care about body composition? Then you should be eating tons of protein in your first meal. All right, I'm trying not to sneeze here. I'm about to sneeze. Um, all right. Is coffee healthy? I believe it is. Beautiful, sickening Rolex. Although that is a very, very, very nuanced topic, isn't it? Because there are positives and negatives potentially to coffee, just like everything else. So it depends on what's your medical history. If you have a history of anxiety disorders, caffeine could be a problem. If you have certain heart defects or heart issues, caffeine can be a problem. As far as other benefits, coffee is shown to improve insulin sensitivity and things like that. So the answer becomes, what's your medical history? Pepper says, no, but a lot of these body fat calculators seem to be way off. His might be. Hey, Pepper, I have no idea. Like, again, you're asking me to assess a calculator and to go to his website and do math this early in the morning. That's just not going to happen, dude. Any experience with the Mars bars? No, I've never used one. Thoughts on Jay Cutler's trading tall body part splits with higher volume per session? Lewis, that doesn't tell me anything about his training style. That's just his split. So body part splits with high volume work just fine. So that's the answer to the question. So you could have just taken Jay Cutler's name out of that and just asked, training a muscle once a week with high volume works fine. Yeah, sorry, got a lot of stuff in my throat here. A little bit of cold happening. Jason, do you wake up to an alarm or do you wake up naturally? Wallow, that is, could you retype that in English, please? Do you wake up naturally? I set an alarm if I have a specific time I need to be awake. Otherwise, I wake up naturally. How many ounces of coffee do you drink per day? Like a gallon? 12 sets once a week to get the job done. Yeah, that can work. No more low carb. Yeah, I'm adding carbs back in today. I rotate phases of that back and forth. That's why I tell people that these things all work. Like you can definitely use different approaches with that. So I don't have a dogmatic approach to high carb versus low carb, high fat versus low fat. Understand what you're doing and why. Have any of the NH crew? Well, not yet, but they will. I mean, Joffrey and Strapon have both replied already. Should regular people design their own program? Probably not. I see a lot of McDonald's going in on the RP. So anything new there, Larry? Or is it the same thing he's been doing for 5 years? Like Lyle's been going in on Mike for years. And some of it's not unwarranted. Thoughts on taking a sleeping aid such as, I suppose if you really need it and your doctor prescribes it. Coach, are you adding back in the white rice? Yeah, it's later today. I'm gonna bust out the Instapot. I saw last night there was a picture with who I assume is his wife on Instagram. Is it? Well, link it to me. I've not seen it. It'd be the first time I've ever seen him with a woman anywhere. Have we ever even seen him with another human being? Do we have confirmation that he has ever left his house at all, even once in his entire life? I've never seen evidence of that. Can you lose weight with white rice and low fat? Yes. How high of an incline do you go for 45 degree? No, Larry, I'm not on the vertical diet. Hey, Jason, can you add your list, Alan Thrall? Some of those are already on there. When people say 12 sets a week for chest fly is equal to like heavy bench, surely one set is greater. No, dude, we're talking your total sets, your combination of compound isolation movements that use it as a primary mover. Email, I have no desire whatsoever to work with you, motherfucking all ever or anyone for my social media management. I'll give you the same reply I'm gonna give you if you DM me. Fuck you and the horse you rode in here on. Did you ever meet? I had to block. I've told you guys many times I had to block Jason Genova's phone number already, many, many years ago, because he kept calling me up asking for money. Didn't white rice give you inflammation? Pepper, if I said that, I don't remember saying that. Why would white rice cause inflammation? What was very nice, Antonio? Blocking Genova? Dude, I'm not having a motherfucker calling me at 2 a.m. asking for money. Sorry. Or Paw Squad's good for rep work. Maybe. Emil, I can appreciate that, but I'm not letting anyone touch any of my social media. Like, to even fucking think that anyone's going to let you do that is fucked. No, nobody's hiring you to do their social media management. I don't think so. It's a good way to get your shit stolen. You're doing one of your videos. I noticed that you don't consume lentils or chickpeas. They seem superior to beans because they're quick to cook. Just don't enjoy them. Tayak, everyone knows Jason Genova did that to everybody, including me. I'm not the only person who did it to. That's why one of the slang terms for him was the iron extortionist or whatever, because he would call all the other influencers and ask for money. Like he was going to die if we didn't send him $50. Like he was going to have a heart attack. And it was this long. I was like, oh my God. I just had enough of that shit real fast. All right. How to keep balance on Bulgarian split squats with dumbbells. Pick your footing carefully. Do you eat pork? Very rarely. I mean, if I don't buy and cook pork personally, but if other people are these days, I mean, I'll eat it at certain places if it's already cooked in. You know, if someone do some filet mignons or bacon, I'm not going to turn it down. It's not something I eat regularly. Who's on the natty or not list? I don't know yet. Tayak, I miss his stupidity. Tayak, he didn't get off the internet. His guardians took him off the internet because it was getting ridiculous. Yeah, I might need to cover the ball on demand. What? Yeah, Pepper, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't think dudes are really insecure about being bald, to be honest. He would just have a hat on all the time if he did. All right. So where we're at, we're about 30 minutes in. All right, I'm probably going to wind this down here in a minute. Oh, so Wallow, you're just a troll. I got it. So I'll just ignore you from now on too, along with this castle clown. I hope natural hypertrophy shows his birth certificate. I guarantee he's from the Middle East. I don't know. No, Wallow's not just a question, it's a troll. Because no one who's not a troll would even know that name at this point. Let's just be honest. You're a loser. You're a loser ass troll with no fucking life. If you even know the name. That's it. Confirm. So Wallow, go fuck yourself. You loser ass troll. Get a fucking life. All right. So Tony D, morning Jason, going to hit some SSB box squats. Have a good Saturday. Hey, man. Awesome. Sounds good. If your upper body is severely lacking, would you skip squats and deadlifts, prioritize upper body? No, that's a really, you don't ever skip muscle groups or important lifts ever for any reason. You simply put more work into where you're weaker. You don't do less and not train the other stuff. That's a really bad idea. Let's chip in and buy NH and borrow soap. I think it's against his beliefs to use soap. Hey, Emil, why do you keep trying to pitch this shit to me? I am not uploading, allowing you to put anything that you create on any of my stuff. Do you not understand that's a violation of all sorts of rules? You'll get my shit unmonetized. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I'm not stupid. Apparently you are. I'm going to get ruder and ruder every time you try to pitch your shit to me. I'm going to get more and more and more mean. All the way until I make fun of your mom and your tiny dick. I don't know what part of no you did not understand, motherfucker. Like, was some part of that unclear? I'm gonna stop being nice to people. I'm too fucking nice. That's half my problem. No, he's probably working on a 2-hour long video, probably is. Hey, Emil, I'm going to tell you even more mean. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck your fat mama and eat a fucking dick. Get the fuck off my channel with your stupid bitch. I don't fucking care. Is any part of that unclear? Do you need a translator? You guys are the most annoying motherfuckers on the face of the earth. I hate you motherfuckers trying to help sell me SEO stuff more than these trolls. You're 100 times more. If these trolls really wanted to get to me instead of this silly bullshit, they would actually spam me with SEO and content management posts. That would actually really shake me. Their stupid shit doesn't. This shit actually pisses me off. I block you motherfuckers all goddamn day in my inbox on Facebook. Eat a fucking dick. I actually tell you to go fuck yourself first, and then I block you. Like, I block 100 of you guys a month. Now, get out of here with that shit. Like, you have no idea how many motherfuckers spam my inbox from the Middle East wanting to do SEO and creator content monetization. All right. Fuck you too, Castle. Now, that being said, I'm kind of getting in my zone to go train now. That caffeine's hitting. Y'all like some of that? Hey there, I really enjoy doing weighted dips. With 10 by 3 with 70 pounds runners. Okay, cool. Hey, Wallow, I never was on an oil rig. Where did you get that lie? I have never once claimed to have been on an oil rig. So now you're just making up shit. Or do you mean natural gas platforms? Because they're not the same thing. Also, there's no women on them. So you're saying I'm gay. It's all men. All right. Yeah. Grave strong. What's your standard for a strong weighted dip? Explain thoughts on total weight. I don't grave because I don't think weighted dips are that safe. I don't generally promote them. I've seen too many injuries. If you want to go heavy, that's why we have the barbell bench press and we have the incline bench press. Dips should be done for hypertrophy, really. Hey, Pepper, at what point did you get this word oil? I mean, you're normally a good poster. I'm about to be an asshole. I never said fucking oil. No, I hated the natural gas platforms. I told you guys in the videos, this shit's miserable. No, Pepper, at the times I was on them, they were not allowing women out there in their rotations for very obvious reasons. Should be common sense. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I never saw a woman on any of them. And I might have been company policy because, again, you're putting a bunch of men out there for 6-10 weeks at a time in rotations who are living out on the platform, like 20 dudes, 30 dudes. And yeah, no. I'm saying that wouldn't be a good idea. All right. Antonio, he's in a delusional dream world. Antonio, don't even try to reason with him. All right, we're at 36 minutes in now. I'm about to wind it down, so I'm gonna get ready to go train. I love all of you guys and gals, and I'll talk to you next time.